What's up everyone? Welcome to our channel. So today I've got a video for you. I don't have any cool videos of bucks. No big monster bucks in front of a trail camera. No cool scenery shots. Today is about some of the fundamentals of hunting and backpacking that I want to talk to you about. One of the reasons I want to put this video out now is the fact that we are currently in the first week of A-zone archery season here in California, and most of the other archery zones open up in about a month, 5 weeks or so. So it's a really good time to get this information out to you. I hope it helps. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear some feedback on what's worked for you, what you hate, what you love. Without further ado, let's get into it. So today I am gonna bring you something that's not as exciting as seeing like monster bucks on a hillside, but honestly, it can make or break your hunt. Now, it's not something that I hear talked about a lot, but I've seen it on the trails and I've heard about it from other hunters and other hikers, and I know it's really impactful, and that's your feet. So before I get into it, I want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm going to talk to you about my experiences. Everybody's different. So something that might work for me may not work for you. I'm just going to tell you what's worked for me and recommendations that I have. For you, it might be something different. So in California, we've got a couple dynamics going on, especially during archery season. Number one, it's really hot. So what happens when it's hot is your feet sweat a lot and they swell because of heat, especially if you're wearing a thicker, like a non-breathable hiking boot, something that's maybe Gore-Tex lined or waterproof. You sacrifice some breathability. So your feet get really hot, they sweat. The second dynamic that you're dealing with in California is a lack of water. So in a lot of places, if you don't want to be hiking off of your ridge tops or wherever you are, way down to water holes, creeks, we've got a drought going on, so water holes and creeks are a lot harder to find, and you may have to hike a lot further to get to it. The point is, you're going to have to pack a lot of water. So what that means is a lot more weight on your back. And also, if you're successful, you're going to be packing a lot of weight on your back with meat and camp and whatever. So what that does, the impact that has on your feet is that pushing down, that pressure will cause your feet to swell. And so what might not be that big of an issue when you have 20 pounds on your back is really magnified when you've got 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds on your back. So in my experience, what generally happens when I hit the trail is my feet will start to sweat, they'll start to swell, and my boots will fit really comfortably at the beginning of my hike if I'm going really heavy or it's really hot, or both. By the time I get to the end of my hike, I've got hot spots, pressure points, blisters. So I've kind of found some things that work for me. And here's what they are. So before I go any further, I want to let you know that all of this stuff that I'm about to tell you about, I'm putting the links down below in the description. So if you want to go buy it for yourself, just go down to the description of this video and I'll have like a little shopping list for you. And again, these are my preferences. So if something else works for you, if you want a different brand of sock or whatever, do your thing. So I'm just gonna put these links down there to make it helpful if you want to try it out. So one of the first things I did, and this is a lesson I learned last year. Last year I used a lot of thicker merino hiking socks. And I found that as my feet would swell, with 10 miles of hiking on a hot day, those would turn into sandpaper. That's what it felt like on my feet anyway. It's kind of dramatic, but. So I switched out those thicker merino socks for 2 layers of socks. I would do like a sock liner, a really thin sock liner, and kind of a medium, sometimes heavyweight sock over that to help try to alleviate some of that rubbing on my feet, those hot spots. And really, it just ended up the same as using a thicker sock. Over time, those socks would saturate and I would get the same hot spots, the same rubbing. So I discovered through some research and kind of digging through what works, what doesn't, seeing what other people are doing, I found an article about salves and balms for your feet and how they're used for hiking. And then I bought myself some lightweight socks, also merino, but they're really lightweight. They don't have as much padding, they don't have as much cushion. There's a little bit of extra cushion here and there, but I found these socks from Farm to Feet. Again, I'm gonna put the link below so you can check them out if you wanna buy some. And then I found this foot balm. It's Squirrel's Nut Butter. And I had a lot of success. So what I would do is slather at my foot and then put my sock on over that and put my boot on. So I'm just wearing a thin quality merino sock with the foot balm as my bottom layer. And what I found is that foot balm kind of created a seal for sweat, and my sock would just slide nice and smooth over my foot without, when it got sweaty, without grabbing and pulling at my skin. So this last scouting trip we did, I had only bought one pair of these Farm to Feet socks. So going in, I wore those socks on the hike, and I think that day we hiked, I don't know, 4 miles or something, 5 miles, but my pack was really heavy because I was carrying a lot of water. And so we got to our spot, we scouted. The next day when we went to leave, I just threw on a pair of basic hiking socks, thicker padded hiking socks. Within 3 miles, I had multiple blisters, multiple hot spots. It really sucked. So the lesson learned, and I really wish I would have bought more of those lightweight socks before the trip, but hey, feet heal. So anyways, the lesson learned is, for me, what works is get rid of those thick socks during the warm weather hunts. Go with a thin sock, and that foot balm makes a huge difference. So if you're struggling with the hot weather aches and pains on your feet, and you're getting blisters, you're getting hot spots, I recommend this method. Also, I want to talk about boots. So I spent a lot of money about 1.5 years ago on Crispy boots. Now, I have no complaints about Crispy. They're a great boot. I think they're well made. I was really happy with them. However, they were just too small. So I normally wear a 13 or 14 shoe, and I bought a 14 thinking, okay, I'm going at the top end of my size. I should be fine. No. Again, I was fine initially, but then as my hunt wore on, my foot would swell, and I would do a lot of hiking, a lot of heavy weight, and my foot was absolutely torn up by the end of the trip. So to the point when it was just bloody, like several toes were bleeding, open, skin peeling off. It was just terrible. So I had to sell those boots, and I went to Hanwag because they're the only boot I could find that sold a 15 wide in a hunting boot. There's probably another one out there. I just didn't know about it. So I found these Hanwags. They're the Alaskas. Again, the 15 wide. It's a big old boot, but it works for me. So I went a whole size up. I went wide, and the difference is night and day. But even with that, even with the bigger size up, when I wore those thicker socks and it was really hot, I still had blister issues. So the combination that works for me is hot weather. I'm gonna do foot balm. I'm gonna do a thinner sock, and I'm gonna make sure my boot is properly sized for the type of walking I'm gonna be doing. So you're probably thinking, what does that mean for a late season hunt when it's gonna be colder? On a late season hunt, that's when I'm gonna go back to my thicker socks. So we're planning a late season mule deer hunt out of state. It's gonna be really cold, and I won't be going with lightweight socks, because then I don't have to worry about A, packing all that water, but B, I don't have to worry about the heat. So my feet aren't gonna swell as much. I won't be packing as much weight on my back, and really warmth is the key. So I don't have to worry about the swelling. So this is my hot weather and cold weather plan for hiking. I'm gonna throw in this little bit too. Your trekking poles make a big difference. So if you're not using trekking poles, you need to go out and buy some like right now. According to a study by the Journal of Sports Medicine, trekking poles, especially when you're going downhill, can reduce the pressure on your knees, your ankles, your hips by as much as 25%. And you get a lot of relief going uphill as well. So especially when you've got that weight on your back, having trekking poles in your hand and adding that, first of all, the stability and safety feature of it, but also it's gonna add endurance to your hike. So what would be a 5 mile hike and you're just done might turn into an 8 or 10 mile hike, and you can get further in, you can carry more weight on your back, be more versatile, and you're gonna save a lot of pain on your joints. So if you don't have trekking poles in your arsenal, definitely go and get some before the season starts. Thanks for watching. I know this isn't the most exciting content, but it's really important. And these are the types of things you figure out before you get on the mountain, and hopefully it makes your success go up overall. So thanks for watching. Drop us a like, subscribe, we really appreciate it, and we will see you on the next video.